Time, would you please stand as we begin our March 3rd Nashville Town Council meeting. Let us say that I have to pledge our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we invite you into this town council meeting tonight. We ask for your wisdom, your guidance, and Lord, just lead and guide us to make the right decision for all the citizens. Amen.
Amen.
The first item on our agenda tonight is the approving our February 18th minutes. Did any of you find any corrections to those that needed to be made?
Give me just a second. I think I have a correction.
Mayor, I do have a note. I received the signed copy from the county of the interlocal agreement, so I'll be switching out in the minutes the actual signed copy that came from the county.
Okay, thanks so very much. If not, do I hear a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Minutes are approved. At this time, we will have...
Mayor,
Uh-huh.
before we go further, I think there's one issue that needs to be added to the minutes that we just approved.
Okay.
On page 8, the last paragraph in there where you as Mayor Brown asked about the revenue that was getting from the tournaments played at Glover Park.
Right.
I think it needs to be added in there that I also made a comment that I had requested it several times, and had not got any response. So now we are working with your request as well as mine.
Okay.
But I think that needs to be made part of the record.
Okay, we'll do that. At this time, we have our public comments, and we only have one for public comments, and that's Chris Sandy. The rest of them will be when we get to those items.
Hello, Council. I'm Christopher Sandy, Build Right Supply, 720 South Body Street. Just a couple of things. We had a planning board meeting a couple of weeks ago on the shipping containers and how the ordinance is developing. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on in the proposed things that's coming up at the 9 o'clock in the morning meeting, where everybody's going to be at work on I think the 18th, is got about 13 conflicts and violations and stuff in it. Just basically, don't think it's a path that we need to go down as far as the shipping containers go, and pay close attention to that. I think I've emailed most everybody that I had an email address for, so you can take a look at those things. I'm really trying to avoid this going down a bad path, but citizens, please understand, come to this meeting, be involved, because it's more than an ordinance about a shipping containers. It's an ordinance about threatening our rights as businesses and what we can and cannot have to sell, which is our constitutional rights. Please step up and help with this, because one thing's leading to another, and if you don't do anything, it's going to hurt us all. And please be involved. I challenge you that. And this may be a comic relief, but the issue on the agenda for 9/29 Eastern, this problem can be solved with a shipping container. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is a proclamation, and at this time, if members of Bobby Dunn's family here, please come forward, and you'll go down. I'll read this. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Come up here, please, and face the audience. Okay. Honoring the life and legacy and service of Coach Bobby B.T. Dunn. Whereas Bobby Thomas Dunn, affectionately known throughout the town of Nashville in Nash County as Coach BT, was born on January the 23rd, 1938 in Zebulon, North Carolina, to the late Mr. Fillmore Dunn and Ada Hunter Dunn. And whereas Coach Dunn peacefully transitioned into eternal life on December the 23rd, 2025, at his home, surrounded by the love and devotion of his beloved wife, Hallie Juggard, leaving behind a legacy of faith, service, and compassion. And whereas Coach Dunn was a faithful, lifelong member of Wakefield Missionary Baptist Church, where he demonstrated unwavering commitment to worship, fellowship, and service, continuing his attendance even as his health declined through the loving assistance of church members and friends. And whereas Coach Dunn was a trailblazer, mentor, and role model whose influence extended far beyond the athletic field, shaping generations of young people through leadership, discipline, encouragement, and integrity, and leaving a lasting imprint on the lives of countless families in Nashville and Nash County. And whereas in recognition of his extraordinary service and contributions to the state of North Carolina and the communities he served, Coach Bobby B.T. Dunn was awarded the Order of the Longleaf Pine, the highest civilian honor bestowed by the Governor of North Carolina. And whereas Coach Dunn was a devoted husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, brother, and friend, remembered for his warm spirit, steadfast faith, love for family, and deep commitment to uplifting others. And whereas the town of Nashville recognizes that Coach Bobby Dunn's life exemplified the values of service, perseverance, and community pride, and that his legacy will continue to inspire present and future generations. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Brenda Brown, Mayor of the town of Nashville, do hereby honor and remember Coach Bobby B.T. Dunn for his outstanding life, leadership, faith, and everlasting contributions to the town of Nashville and the greater Nash County community, and be it further proclaimed that the town of Nashville extends its deepest sympathy and heartfelt condolences to the Dunn and the Gerald family, and express profound gratitude for the remarkable legacy Coach Dunn leaves behind. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Nashville, North Carolina, to be affixed this 3rd day of March 2026.
Those that are in the audience and in support, if you would please stand as well. I was reminded the audience to stand, those that are in support of the proclamation.
Thank you so kind.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's always nice to honor and recognize somebody like that when you knew them. And,
Personally.
Right, and I personally knew him. Hey, honey. The next item on our agenda is the Essex Road Sewer Extension.
Mayor and Council, at the last meeting, February 18th, the council decided to cover the $140,000, $571 difference between the $500,000 and forgivable grant we received, were awarded from the Division of Infrastructure for the Essex Road Sewer Extension Project, and the $736,401 project cost with fund balance from the Enterprise Fund. We have attached to the agenda report here tonight Ordinance 2026-04, which creates a capital project fund in the amount of $736,401 for the Essex Road Sewer Extension Project and appropriates and authorize the funding for the project.
So, council, the recommendation from the managers to approve the ordinance 2026-04, creating a $736,401 capital project fund ordinance for the Essex Sewer Extension Project. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion approved, and I know those people will be happy, and so will we. The next item on our agenda is the 2026 sidewalk replacement project. Sean?
Mayor and Council, once again, good evening, everybody. As you know, at the last meeting, the Town Council asked Town staff to return back to the MSD Board to ask for additional funding of $20,000, making the MSD pledge down $40,000. I'm happy to report back to the Town Council. The MSD is in support of that. At their last meeting, they did make a vote and a motion to approve additional $20,000 funding for sidewalk repair in the MSD area. So, Mayor and Council, we're here to let you know the vote has been passed. We would just ask the council to make a vote to accept their recommendation of now moving from $20,000 to $40,000 towards our sidewalk repair in the MSD area.
Do I hear a motion to approve this from the Downtown Nashville Strong Advisory Board, the use of $40,000 of MSD funds for the 2026 sidewalk replacement project?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is the sidewalk replacement project. Sean, do you handle that too? Yes.
That will fall under Randy, I believe.
Okay, Randy, yes.
Mayor and Council, we had an opportunity to bid out our 2026 sidewalk replacement project, and we were fortunate to have 8 different contractors bid on our project. And attached to the agenda report is the bid summary. Marshall Construction Asphalt and Concrete from Nashville was the low bidder at $144,791.90. If you recall, we had budgeted $145,000 for this project, 40 of which now is going to come from MSD, and 105 then will come from the Powell Fund, or our Powell bill money. We will have Marshall's Construction begin sidewalk replacement, if awarded by the council tonight, on East Washington, the first south block of Alston Street, and the first south block of Body Street, which is the parade route for the Blooming Festival, so we can get those sidewalks replaced before Blooming Festival. So before the council tonight are the review of the bids and award of the project with Resolution 2026-06.
So do I hear a motion to approve the Resolution 2026-06, awarding the 2026 sidewalk replacement project to Marshall's Construction Asphalt and Concrete of Nashville, North Carolina, in the amount of $144,791.90?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the Regency Estate Sewer Extension Project.
Mayor and council, similar to Essex Road, the previous meeting, the council awarded a contract for the construction of the Regency Sewer Extension Project. We call it that for short. The full project name is the Regency Estate Sanitary Sewer Repair and Rehabilitation Project. I shortened it up a bit. Anyway, the contract for engineering, grant administration, and construction came to $1,157,286. We were awarded a grant for that project from the division, the North Carolina Division of Infrastructure, for $984,046. The difference the council had of $173,240, the council previously decided to take from water and sewer fund balance. So what you have before you this evening is ordinance 2026-05, which creates a $1,157,286 capital project fund in order to proceed with that project. And it's up for the council's review and approval.
Do I hear a motion to approve ordinance 2026-05, creating the $1,157,286 capital project fund ordinance for the Regency Estates sanitary sewer repair and rehabilitation project?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
It's nice to see that.
And
Thank
for
you.
those that think this is a lot of money, and it is a lot, but these people in both of these residences or communities have been waiting for sewer hookups since the early 1970s. So I think they've been waiting long enough.
The next item on our agenda is rezoning 505 South Austin Street. Sean?
Once again, thank you, Mayor and Council. This evening, we have the conditional rezoning of 505 South Austin Street. The applicant, Mr. Ronald Trey Braswell, is here to represent himself. We will be representing the town on the town staff report. As you know, this rezoning is rezoning the property from R10 to conditional zoning, non-residential business 1. The one use that Mr. Braswell is asking for is office and financial services, commonly referred to as professional office space. It is a 2270 square foot single family dwelling with 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms that will be converted over for office use, contingent upon the approval of the conditional rezoning. And also, all required zoning and building trade permits will be issued by the town of Nashville and Nash County Building Inspection Department. The parcel is 0.53. Our parking ordinance states that you have to have 1 parking space per 250 square feet of gross floor area. So right now, that is requesting that Mr. Braswell has 10 parking spaces, which he does if he uses count his parking lot. Mayor and Council, if you turn to page number 39 in your packet, you will see the application that Mr. Braswell did submit to the town for the conditional rezoning request. If we turn over to page number 42 in your packet, that is the metes and bounds that must be submitted with the conditional rezoning application that Mr. Braswell was able to do. If you turn to page number 43, that is a picture of the property that is asking for the conditional rezoning. Also, Mr. Braswell was asked on page 44 to send out the representatives of 500 people within 500 feet of the property. So it was not 500, it was 93. Also, those are the letters that we sent out to the property owners. And on page number 46 and 47, those are the property owners that did receive mail for the rezoning to come to the planning board meeting, which was held last week, and the town council meeting. Page number 48 in your packet is the certification of notice of 2 property owners, where it states, I, as the planning director of the town of Nashville, do formally let the town council know that letters were sent out for this rezoning 10 days prior in advance of the public hearing. If we turn to page number 50 in your packet, that is the agenda report. We will kind of breeze through this report because I think you guys are pretty adequate on rezoning and conditional rezone already. As we stated, Mr. Ronald Trey Braswell is asking for the property of 505 South Austin Street to be rezoned to conditional zoning non-residential B1. If you look north of the property, it is R10, single-family dwellings. South is R10, single-family dwellings. East is R10, single-family dwellings. And west is B1, office space. I think the town council is pretty much up to speed on what a R10 dwelling, R10 definition is. Also, what our CZ and RB1 is, being that we have been doing quite a few. But we'll go over to the 2021 Nashville Comp Plan on page 51. It has this property slated as low density. Low density defined in our comprehensive plan is residential use, including detached single-family homes and manufactured homes, agricultural, forestry parks, place of worship, schools, or similar rural uses shall be allowed. The preferred use for our comp plan is single-family detached homes, institutional uses. And they do get some considerations if you're going to do some enhancing for institutional uses, alteration, additions to historic homes should enhance existing features. And despite being the least dense residential use, sidewalks, infrastructure should be prioritized in this type of use. As we stated, Mr. Braswell is asking for office financial service, and we pretty much say doing business as professional office space. Page number 52 is the subject property that is asked to be rezoned. Page number 53, you can see right there from the Nash County GIS portal with zoning on. This property is R10. And here are the notes that we pretty much taken when we read the land use plan. The property is R10, whereas the existing future land use map classifies this property as low-density residential. However, if the subject property is rezoned CZNRB1, it will be non-contiguous with the adjacent zoning district of the zoning map and inconsistent with the Town of Nashville future land use map. If we turn over to page 54, we can go into the project history. Then, Mayor, we can kind of go ahead and get ready to open up the public hearing for the citizens of Nashville. And also, we can let the applicant speak first.
Okay.
On January 6, 2026, Ronald Trey Braswell of Braswell Farms Milling applied for the conditional rezoning. The property has been serviced by Town Water and Sewer by the Town of Nashville at the property. Public hearing notice letters were mailed out to 49 property owners within a 500-foot radius on January 21st for the conditional rezoning hearing. The legal notice was advertised in the Nashville Graphic for February the 12th, 19th, and 26th edition for this planning board meeting and the town council meeting this evening. The front door to Town Hall was posted on February 5th, as was the Nashville Library and the Nashville Parks and Rec Center. The Town Nashville Technical Review Committee did meet on January 26th on this conditional rezoning. We will go over their recommendations once we finish the project history. The subject property is not located within the floodplain. The subject property is not located in the Upper Stony Creek watershed. The subject property is not located in NCDEQ water supply watershed. As we stated earlier, the property in our future land use map states it for low-density residential. The Town of Nashville Planning Board did hold a public hearing on this matter on February 24, 2026, with Chairman Wayne Sears presiding as the chairman of the board. Ronald S. Trey Braswell III had a conflict arise before the meeting, was unable to attend, but he did send a letter on behalf of the rezoning request, which was read out loud to the planning board. And if you look back in your packet, we won't read the letter, but it's actually on page number 49 in your packet. During the public hearing, 4 neighbors and residents came out to speak against the conditional rezoning request. After the public hearing was concluded, board member Jackie Lewis voted for denial of the conditional rezoning request with a second by board member Walter Harper. The motion passed unanimously with a 3-0 vote. The Town of Nashville Planning Board voted in denial of this conditional rezoning with this statement of consistency for the denial, stating that the conditional rezoning does not align with the Town of Nashville's future land use map or comprehensive plan, and approval would disturb the harmony of the neighborhood. That was their recommendation that night. If you look at reasonableness in spot zoning, the reason why this request is not spot zoning is because the subject property will be rezoned to a conditional zoning non-residential business 1 district where this use is allowed. The property is slated as low-density residential, but rezoned the property to conditional non-residential B1 aligns with the growth of Braswell Milling Company in a controllable method that continues to promote the harmony of the neighborhood. The allowed use that is being asked for has already been done on the property 104 East Cross Street, which is Zone B1, highway business. The subject property is in harmony with this use request since the property has road frontage off Lucille Street and South Austin Street. The adjacent property to the left of the property is asked to be rezoned is owned by Braswell Milling and is Zone B1 zoning district. Page 56 in your packet, the Town Technical Review Committee met on January 26, 2026. And the TRC made a recommendation of approval for the conditional rezoning request. The Town of Nashville TRC thought to change the land use from R10 to CZNRB1 to allow only professional office space. Office financial, according to our table allowed use, does not model the Town of Nashville comprehensive plan, but understands that this conditional rezoning request is valid with the office building already in existence 40 feet away from residential neighborhood homes. Mayor, we do have some development conditions that Mr. Braswell will have to agree to. I will go over that, then we can open up the public hearing and then ask Mr. Braswell to come up. Condition number 1, the subject property shall be developed in accordance to the approved site plan. The applicable requirements of the Town of Nashville zoning ordinance are used for the following: professional office space per our town table allowed use, office financial services. Any new use or changes will be brought back to the Town of Nashville Planning Board and the Town Council for amendment where approval vote will be needed. Significant or substantial modifications, revisions to the approved site plan may require additional reviews by the Town of Nashville's Technical Review Committee, the Town of Nashville Planning Board, as well as reapproval of the Town of Nashville Town Council at discretion of the planning director or his designee. The applicant must abide by the B1 zoning district setbacks per the Town of Nashville zoning ordinance setback chart. Prior to the change of use, the following permits shall be issued by the Town of Nashville Planning Department: a zoning certificate and a compliance and a fence permit. The conditional zoning map amendment shall be invalid unless the practitioner consents in writing to all the attached development conditions. The applicant will install a white vinyl privacy fence along the rear and side property lines to provide a buffer screening between the established residential homes and proposed professional office space business site. So any part of the property that butts up to a residential property, we're going to ask the applicant to install a vinyl white fence to go along with that's already established in the neighborhood. The owner will ensure that the outside aesthetics facade of the home continues to resemble a residential dwelling and not make too many changes to it, so we want to continue to look like a residential dwelling. The owner will designate a minimum of 10 parking spaces for professional office space per the Town of Nashville parking ordinance. The owner will keep a minimum of 3 cars at the 505 South Austin Street location out of the 10 required parking spaces, and the other ones will have to utilize the parking lot. And the owner will not increase the concrete footprint of the existing driveway at 505 South Hall Street. So we're not going to ask the owner to go and concrete the whole backyard. It's going to pretty much, the only thing he can do is repair what's already existing in the driveway. Those are the conditions that the staff has recommended after reviewing this conditional rezoning. As we stated, the applicant must attest to these conditions and say that they agree. Mayor and council, I think that is enough hearing from me right now, so I will yield back to you, Mayor, to open up the public hearing. And also, we do have the applicant, Mr. Ronald Trey Braswell, here to answer any questions asked by the Town Council, not Board of Commissioners.
Okay. Do I hear a motion for us opening the public hearing on this, this rezoning of 505 South Austin Street?
Move to go into public hearing.
Is there a second? Okay, Mr. Braswell, would you like to come up and first?
Howdy, council, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk. Sean, you did a great job covering most everything. I'll just add a little more color. We do want to rezone to the conditional rezoning, not for public office spaces, strictly for our expansion of current employees. They're employees that are currently parking in our parking lot, and it's very low impact. This team will only be in that space, 40% of the week, and only between 7 and 5. Our goal is to just beautify the house. I sent some pictures to the town. I think he'll show what our plans are. It'll absolutely still look like a residence, just like our office that we built right next door to that. We did that on purpose so that it felt like, we were part of the neighborhood, right? Currently we've got plans to add, that's the back porch, and there's plans for a front porch. I think there's pictures of the front porch, and we plan to whitewash or lime wash the brick, and then fencing. Really, I offered to do whatever the adjoining neighbors preferred. I know you've stated white vinyl fence. That's fine if that's what they want. I'd love the option to do a wooden privacy fence, that might blend in better with the architecture. But and that's kind of like what the lime wash will look like. So you won't know it's an office, and there won't be additional traffic coming in and out, and we hadn't intended to park behind it either. So any questions that I can answer that I didn't fill in? Sean did a great job.
Mr. Browser, I hope this is not what we're looking for. Did you mean for this to be a representation as to what that house will look like when you do it?
Putting a porch on the front?
Yeah.
And then lime washing the brick instead of keeping it the red brick.
Well, I think that changes the appearance of the house altogether. And I thought we wanted to keep it to look like a residence and not an office. If you change put a porch on the front and whitewash the brick, that changes the appearance of the house altogether.
But it still would resemble a residence.
I think the picture's beautiful. Yeah.
That's just a rendering.
Council members, could you pull your mics closer to you so the audience can hear? Thank you.
So Larry, the photo that's up there gives an example of what a porch and the lime washing would look like on a brick house.
Okay.
I think, for me, I hear what Larry is saying, but let me just speak for Xavier. I think this rendition takes on more of a rustic appeal than what's currently there. Is that your intention, or is that just what the what your rendering shows here? Because I understand what the front porch and whitewashing is, you know.
That's probably just the rendition. It's not going to be like a log cabin or anything.
Right.
It'll be
That's my
very-
question. It's not going to be rustic.
No, it'll
this
be
this
very
has a
fitting
rustic
to the
appeal.
current architecture.
Okay. Larry, are you finished?
I guess I am. Well, right now, anyway.
Okay. Mayor, may I? Yeah. For me, Trey, I see what you are proposing. My concern probably is when I get into the public hearing, some things I already know before I get into the public hearing, because I've heard from some of the residents. I heard from some that are probably against, and I've heard from some that is probably for. That's with any project, of course.
Sure.
My major concern would be, and I know you've tried to already start to address some of those, probably from based off of your feedback, but I guess what I'm asking, is there still room for compromise if we open up this public hearing and there's a nuance or something, for example, is there room for compromise?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've shown that. I don't, you know, I'm open to any discussion as long as it makes sense to everybody.
Yeah, that's, without hearing the public comment section, that would be my question, and thank you for re-answering that, or just giving truth to that part of it. Yeah, yeah.
Any other questions for Mr. Brasley?
I think we're already in the public hearing portion, if we want to hear from,
I'm going to
Yeah.
call them.
I'm going to
after he
reserve
finishes.
comments of Trey till I hear from other
Okay.
folks.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't
Yeah,
mind
I was
sticking
going to
around,
hear from
Trey.
them and then let other people ask. Okay, James Baker?
I got it, Randy. Thank you. I hope I can get maybe a couple extra minutes, since this really pertains solely to me, if possible, because there's a lot I would like to address, and also about the conditions, that I might consider. I have lived at 103 East Green Street for 8 years, and when I bought residential. If I would have known that it was going to be rezoned to business, I would have never purchased that home. And within that 8 years, I have slowly watched that house deteriorate. And it's not just me, the whole community saw it and asked what in the world was going on. And then, I had to contact the town at one point because of the issue of the front fascia board. It was a big gaping hole. Wildlife was running wild. And it took Mr. Lucas, I have to go out there to citate it before that opening on that roof. I just didn't understand why anybody would let a property go like that and get in that dilapidated condition. And I was kind of disappointed because I did not know at first that it was the Braswell Mill that had purchased it. And, it was kind of disappointing to me because I would have thought that place would have been a show place. But again, I lived there 8 years watching this. And I went back there in that backyard, and I got ate up by poison ivy and stuff. I had to clean out all that mess in the back. But now, time has gone by now, and it's just heartbreaking to me. That's my biggest investment. And just to see it, it's just like I'm not having really any kind of say-so, because I'm really, and the other neighbor on 108 Lucille, we're the two that is really being impacted by this the most. Now, the conditions, he just stated that he wants to change the whole look of that house to more, it sounds like to me, a rustic look. Now, I went in there and I put a white vinyl fence all down my one side. And I was hoping if it was going to have to be rezoned, which I really don't want it to see rezoned, because he had property I understood that's over on the opposite corner. I believe it's on Cross and Austin. That's already, what zone, business or commercial? If you need more office space, why not build over there? But you're asking someone to come over and reach over into a residential area and then make an exception. And I just don't think it's right. I would have felt better about the whole situation, but after 8 years of watching that house go dilapidated, I just didn't think it was fair to me. But if it's going to be, there is some conditions that I would ask, and I think they would be reasonable to ask. I want the house to stay at the state that it is, because the same builder, the same builder built my house and that house, and I believe the corner that was on 100 Green Street. And I would want it to remain uniformed, all looking the same. But to come in there and asking to be whitewashed and then put a rustic wood fence, that's going to clash with mine. Now, I've already put up a white vinyl fence, and I would like the fence to go down the side of mine and also the adjoining property behind me on 108 Lucille. She needs to have a buffer put along with her. And secondly, I would like to, the house really needs a deep cleaning. The fascia board, the grime that's on that house, it needs to be cleaned off, minimum. And
Okay, sum up, please. Sum up.
Okay, I'm sorry. And then, like I say, it needs to be repainted, the woodwork, and also, I would like to see that there be some landscaping lighting, like his headquarters that he has there as well. But, and another issue about like it's brought up about the driveway, and I'm glad about that, but there's also another problem along Lucille, especially at school time in the afternoon. We can't have any cars being parked along that side on Lucille, because we already know how the cars stand around there when they go to pick up the kids in the afternoon.
Okay, thank you so much. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
Okay, Brandon.
Helen Rabel?
Helen Rabel. I live at 404 South Austin Street, Nashville. This house right here is the home of was the home of my aunt and my uncle. They lived there for at least until they both died. And so this house I've had many good memories in that house. It means a lot to me. And wanted to let y'all know that I won't, when I heard that it had been sold, that I had heard that it was going to be a place for men that work with the Brazel Milling Company, for them to stay. And it never happened. That was supposed to be kind of like their little motel, that these men coming in from other states and other towns. And so it really hurts me to see how my aunt and uncle's house has gone downhill. My mother gave them to them when they got married and everything. So it's been there a long time, and I've had so many good memories in there. So I would like for maybe from Mr. Brazel maybe to straighten it up and make it a kind of like a place for his people who come to do business with him to live or spend the night there or something, kind of like a house. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Anybody have any questions for Trey or any other comments?
Mayor, I know a comment was made about the landscaping from Mr. Baker. If the rezoning did pass, that would all fall in under the zoning and TRC review to make sure there's some type of landscaping done between residential and business one as per our zoning ordinance.
If not, do I hear a motion to come out of public hearing?
So move.
Second, all those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
So if there's no other comments, do I, what are we doing now? We've closed our comment. Do we have a motion?
If the council would like to hear from Trey to maybe answer some of those questions, you're more
Okay.
than welcome to bring them back, or the council can go into deliberation into a vote.
Okay. Do you have any questions for Trey?
I've already asked mine.
Okay.
I had one question just for you, Sean. The setbacks that we're talking about, the B1 setbacks, what is the benefit or detriment of using residential versus the business setback?
Being that he's asking for conditional zoning B1, we have to give him B1 setbacks. The house has already been built, but anything else added to the lot. Of course, if he has an accessory shed, it has to meet the accessory shed part of the ordinance. But we have to follow the setbacks of what you're asking to be rezoned.
Okay.
Are they larger for residential or larger for business?
Larger for bids, but we don't think that Trey will be knocking the house down, building nothing back. He's going to pretty much attest to what's already there. His main focus is going in and doing the change of use on the inside. If there's any conversion, needs to be done on the inside doing that. And of course, the setbacks for any additions he do will have to meet those ordinances right there.
So that's the question. So the condition is the current house, right? The condition is not, there's no tearing down.
None at all, sir.
Would that porch being added to the front, would that throw it out of the setback requirements?
It should not, because right now it's zone R10, so it should not throw it out of R10 setbacks. And of course, if he goes B1, it should not throw it out the B1 front or rear setbacks at all, because you got a maximum setback on them because it's business one.
I don't have any problem with what Mr. Browser wants to do with the house. I want that house to stay, to have an appearance as what it is right now, as if somebody was living in the house. And that would not throw it out of kilter with the neighbors that surround him.
Yes, sir.
I have no problem with him putting office space in there, but I don't want it to disturb the community any way at all.
Now, we do have a number 8, Councilman Taylor, where we did state in one of the conditions, the outside aesthetics facade should remain a house and resemble a residential dwelling. So if it is approved, then if this is submitted, we can tell Trey that it has, well, Mr. Branswell, that it has to stay the facade of how it's proposed.
How it is now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because
Not as it is now, but looking like a house.
looking like
Right.
it is like a house right now, because what you showed me a few minutes ago with the whitewashing, you turned a brick facade into a white house. That's gonna stand out like a sore thumb.
My house is white, I'm right down the road.
Well, no. You want a different corner.
Well, what about the Stocks house across the street?
I'm looking at this one right now. I'm taking it one at a time. Like I said, I'm not against what he wants to do.
Go back to the picture
Yeah,
of
show me that
the
White House.
whitewash to Larry.
Show me that white house.
Only thing I would
whitewashed house.
advise the
See,
council is,
that's a different house.
It's a house.
Well, that's just showing you the whitewash and the porch.
I don't
right.
like that.
I would just advise the council that if it comes to paint scheme colorings, we can't get into cosmetic of it. We could just tell them to keep the outside aesthetics as a residential house.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, if I may.
Yeah.
I did say that I was done, but, let me address, because like I said, I've communicated with some people that was for and some that was against. And after hearing the concerns tonight and hearing Trey willing to compromise and keep in the harmony, which is basically what we look to do with our ordinances, that's ultimately the goal. In Nashville is historic, and because of that, we are in a season and a situation where preservation of our older homes is important to a lot of our residents and the uniqueness of Nashville. And so with that being said, like I said, for those that live in that community and who before now was somewhat opposed, being that we can kind of meet in the middle and compromise, I think anything we can do to preserve it looking like a home, residential, staying in harmony, things of that nature, I think we'll be okay. And I don't think it is the most preferable thing for all residents, but the reality is nothing is. And so with things like this, we try to meet in the middle. And I think we've heard from some of the residents tonight, and they've spoken directly, basically saying if we could compromise and meet in the middle and things of that nature, they would be okay. And so because of that, I would be okay.
So, after hearing everything, do you have any?
I do have a couple of comments. So right now, the house is vacant, and I do not like vacant. I think it just, it welcomes many issues. I think that we can accomplish something that's a win-win for all. I think we're all on the same board with that. I think that we can do something that will promote harmony with the neighboring properties. And in fact, when I spoke with one of the neighbors, Mr. Baker, he came to the conclusion that he would prefer to have something like this versus having a renter come in who maybe wouldn't do the right thing, or having it sold to someone who wouldn't do the right thing. So I think we can come to a compromise with all of this. Now, the things that we had talked about, some of these are already in the conditions, but there are some others that weren't listed in the conditions that I just wanted to read aloud to make sure that it is okay. So fixing it up, but keeping it with a residential appearance, no larger footprint of the driveway. In your conditions, you have a minimum of 3 cars. I would like a maximum of 3 cars to ever be parked in that driveway. The 6-foot privacy fence on the side and the back. No large signage out front, like nothing that has a huge Braswell Family Farms. We want it to look like a residence out front. It has to be a low-traffic, low-impact business, as Mr. Braswell is suggesting would be there. Security cameras were another thing I think that Mr. Braswell had put in his application, so I think that's a great idea. And then the decorative landscape lighting, like we're next door, I think that's also a wonderful idea. And then the last condition that Mr. Baker was worried about was just that no large events were being held there, no big Braswell Family Farm events, and I think Mr. Braswell's okay with that as well.
And just remember, with this conditional rezone, it's only for this. This will be the only use he could do with it. So if he did do something, a large event there, we would be sending Mr. Braswell there and say you violated your conditional zoning approval, and we need to have a discussion.
So, Mayor, when I first heard about it, I was not for it because I like keeping the residents, but I started hearing the conditions, and I talked to some people in the community, and I thought about it, it was my house was there, and I would sure rather have Trey do what he's saying he's going to do than have other things that could happen in that house. And so I think it's a good win-win for the community.
Based on what Kate just mentioned, those corrections or additions, modifications, based on those, if Mr. Braswell is willing to meet with those, then I would be in favor of it.
Mr. Braswell, are you willing to meet the conditions proposed by staff and also proposed this evening by the town council, sir?
Those are all reasonable. I'm happy to do that. Happy to do that.
Well, that sounds fine.
Thank you.
Mayor and council, the applicant has agreed to the conditions, so now we can go back to the council for deliberation.
Thank you, council.
So after the public hearing and after hearing Trey agreeing to what he states he's going to do, we trust his word. Do I hear a motion to approve the zoning number 002921 from R10 to conditional zoning non-residential B1 and rezone the property with ordinance 2026-06?
Based on those corrections, I move to approve.
Is there a second? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is rezoning 609 Weston Avenue.
It's 608.
Oh, excuse me, 608 Weston Avenue.
Good evening again, once again, Mayor and council. Before us tonight, we have the rezoning request of 608 Western Avenue from R10 to O&I for all the allowed uses in the O&I zoning district. The applicant tonight is being represented by Mike Toast of Matt Gay and Associates on behalf of Hurt LLC. They have submitted the rezoning request. The subject property is a 9.47 acre tract with road access from Western Avenue. The site currently contains a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, single-family dwelling totaling approximately 2,102 square feet. Notice of the public hearing was sent out in the Nashville Graphic on February the 12th, 19th, and 26th. Informal letters were also mailed to 91 property owners within the 500-foot radius. Mayor and council, if you turn over in your packet to page number 64, that is the application submitted by Matt Gay and Associates, Mr. Mike Tolson. Mr. Tolson also submitted the requirement of the submission for a rezoning request on page number 67, which is the descriptive property showing it. Mr. Tolson also submitted the meets and bounds on page number 68 as per our ordinance for submission. Mr. Tolson also submitted the residents within 500 feet on page number 69, also on page number 70. 71 is the letter that was mailed out to the residents within the 500-foot radius per the submission of Mr. Tolson and Matt Gay. On January the 21st, 2026, if you look on page number 72 in your packet, that's a certification of notice to property owners where it says, I, Sean Lucas, the planning director of the town of Nashville, do let the council know that this property was mailed out to over the requested owners within a 10-day window of the public hearing was sent to them. Page number 73 begins the agenda report. Mayor and Council, as we already stated, Mr. Mike Toast is here on behalf of Matt Gain Associates and on behalf of the applicant, her LLC, to represent the applicant. I will be representing the town as town staff, giving the agenda report. The subject property we said is 9.43 acres, and if you look north of the property, it's R10, MF, and R6. We have residential, multifamily uses, duplexes. South is B1, that's the vacant wetland area in Stony Creek. East is R10 residential, west is R10 residential subdivision, and R6. I think we're pretty much abreast of what R10 definition is, and I think we know what O&I is. But for the benefit of the record, being that we have not done a traditional rezoning in a long time, I will read the definition. The O&I district is defined as a certain land area with structures that provide office space for professional service and for certain institutional functions and residential accommodations, usually medium or high density. The district is normally small and may include older homes undergoing conversion. The district usually is situated between businesses and residential districts, and the regulations are designed to permit development of the functions and still protect and be compatible with nearby residential districts. Page number 74 tells what our 2021 Nashville Comprehensive Plan slates this property. It does slate the property as neighborhood services. Neighborhood services is a land classification including commercial, office, institutional services that are primarily located and designed to serve the town citizens. Where search development has established patterns, other lands that represent a logical extension of neighborhood services usually also include this type of classification in general situation away from highway interchanges and function as a buffer between highway services or industrial uses with residential uses. Those preferred use in neighborhood services go as following: retail, professional office space, professional office service, restaurants, offices, institutional uses, and government facilities. If you look at page number 75, that is the subject property. Below that, showing when we went out and posted the property on February the 4th, 2026. And if you turn over to page number 76 in your packet, we will begin the project history of this. Below is the comparison of the zoning map. As we told you, it is R10, whereas the existing future land use map classifies the subject property as neighborhood services. However, the subject property is rezoned to O&I. It will be contiguous with the adjacent zoning district of the zoning map and consistent with our future land use map of our 2021 comprehensive plan. Page number 77, our project history. Matt Gain Associates, Mr. Mike Toast has submitted the application on behalf of HERT LLC on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. The property has been serviced by town water and sewer by the town of Nashville at 608 Western Avenue. Public hearing notice letters were mailed out to approximately 91 property owners, 92, we had one additional one, within a 500-foot radius of Saturday, January 24, 2026. There was originally 105 listed names on the list, but 14 of those properties were owned by the town of Nashville, so we only mailed one to the town to save on the postage bill. The rezoning sign was posted on the property February 4th, 2026. If photos were taken, please see below in your packet. The legal notice were advertised on February 12th, 19th, and 26th for the planning board and our town council public hearing this evening. The front door of the town hall was posted on February 5th as the Harold D. Cooley Library and the Town Nashville Parks Recreation Center. The Town Nashville Technical Review Committee met on January 27th to review this rezoning request. The recommendations will be given at a later portion of this hearing. The subject property is on the front porch, is not located within the floodplain. The subject property near the rear porch is located in the 500-100-year floodplain. The subject property is located in Stony Creek, Upper Stony Creek watershed. The subject property is not located within the NCDEQ water supply watershed. The town of Nashville future land use map, as we've already stated, has this property slated as neighborhood services. The town of Nashville Planning Board held a public hearing for this matter on February 24th, 2026. During that public hearing, 3 residents come up to speak against the rezoning request. Board member Walter Harper made a motion to approve the rezoning request, with board member Dennis Evans seconded, and the motion passed unanimously, 3-0. The town of Nashville Planning Board voted in favor of the rezoning request and prepared a statement of consistency for the approval, stating that this rezoning does align with the town of Nashville's future land use map and comprehensive plan, and approving it would follow the recommendations of all applicable plans that the town of Nashville goes by as our guideline for rezoning. Reasonableness in spot zoning. This rezoning request is not spot zoning because the subject property will be rezoned to O&I, where the town of Nashville future land use and comprehensive plan has it allowed. The subject property is in harmony with this use because it has road frontage off Western Avenue. As we stated earlier, Mayor and Council, we will give you the recommendations from the Technical Review Committee of the Town of Nashville on January 27, 2026. The town TRC did meet on this rezoning request, and they recommend approval for the rezoning request. The Town of Nashville TRC thought that changing the land use from R10 to O&I models and aligns with the Town of Nashville Comprehensive Land Use Plan and all existing plans on file for the Town of Nashville that we follow with rezoning property. Mayor and Council, I will yield back to you, Mayor, for the public hearing. But before you open up the public hearing, Mr. Mike Tolson is here on behalf of Matt Gain Associates and behalf of her LLC to answer any questions asked by the council for this rezoning request. Mr. Tolson, do you attest to this agenda report given tonight, sir?
Yes, sir. You did a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. Mike Olson with Mackay Associates, representing Hurt LLC tonight on this rezoning request. I would like to just say a few things based on the comments that I got and listening to the public comments last week during the public hearing for the planning board, and having talked to Mr. Hurt about what those results were and what the concerns were of some of the citizens. He would prefer to have O&I outright on this zoning, but he is willing to accept the restriction that he limits the use to only office and residential, single-family residential on the property. What he is intending to do, and what everybody's concerned was that he was trying to sort of end around this process and get the apartments that he was denied for a few years ago. And that is not his current intention. His intention is to revamp the existing house, which he's already begun. In those pictures, I don't know if you could see his advertisement sign and the porta-john. He's been rehabbing that house to get it used for a commercial tenant that he's got basically lined up and ready to get moved in there, and he has to get it rezoned in order to be able to be in compliance with the town zoning ordinance. So that's his current intention, that's his current plans, and for the foreseeable future, he's got other plans in town on other properties that he's got to work on apartments, and he's not going to go and market this property with apartments when he's going to be competing with himself in a piece that he's already building across town. So his intention is to use this as an office space for the immediate future, and until such time that he is, you know, running in through different properties and everything else. He's developing in several different towns, and so, you know, at that time, if he did want to come back for apartments, he would still have to come back to you in light of that to be able to get apartment buildings on it, which he is not intending to do at this time. So to put hopefully maybe put some of the doubts at rest that are going to come up in the public hearing, wanted to let everyone know that he's, you know, would like O&I as it is and conditional as planning board approved it last week, but he is willing to accept the restriction that he only uses it for office and neighborhood services, such as what he's intending to do for it currently. So I hope that can at least help answer some questions, but I'll answer any other questions that I can possibly answer if you have any.
You said about, excuse me, was somebody going to speak? You said about houses. Are they going to be single-family homes if he builds houses there?
He's not planning to build anything. He's just going to rehab the existing house that's there.
Okay.
And make it into a usable office space for the time being. He's not a residential, you know, a single-family home developer.
Okay.
And so he's not got any intention for that. But what he does want to do is be able to market the property outwardly as an O&I property in case other developers want to come and buy the piece outright, and they can certainly come in and want to do what they want to do with it to build an office complex or whatever is in line with the spirit of the ordinance, but that would still have to come back to you for approval anyway.
Any questions for Mike Tolston?
Mayor, if I may. So what I think I hear you saying in summary is that he's bringing it before the council to get it rezoned as a marketing tool going forward.
That is part of the strategy.
That it would open up for marketing, basically.
He'll be able to market the property to potential other developers if he ever decides to sell it, but also he's got to have it rezoned in order to be able to use it for a commercial rental property. If not, he would have a non-compliant use, and you guys would be able to fine him for, you know, having a commercial tenant in a residential use. So he's trying to do what's right by the ordinance, but also at the same time, this is the this is the zoning that fits for that type of use for the land use plan. I mean, it's identified in
Yeah.
the long-term land use plan as O&I. He's just trying to comply with the land use plan as well for that.
Okay, thank you. I thought you was pretty thorough, but I just needed a little bit of clarity.
Yes,
Should
sir.
we ask questions now, or should we wait till after the public hearing?
Did we open the public hearing?
We have no.
Yeah, we're gonna have an open public hearing, but he's here to answer
Yeah.
our
I'll
questions.
reserve time.
Yeah,
for him
he's
to-
answering our questions first. Is that
I may
my
have more
understanding,
questions
Sean?
later.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Do you have a question?
I have a question for Sean, but I'll wait till after the public hearing.
Anybody else have any? Thank you. If not, do I hear a motion that we go into a public hearing concerning the rezoning of 608 Weston Avenue?
So move.
Is it second? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
The first person that would like to speak is Mr. Fly.
Kenneth Fly, 728 Westview Court. Good evening, Mayor, Town Council, and fellow citizens of the town of Nashville. I come to you today with concerns over the proposed rezoning of 608 Western Avenue. After reviewing the packet of information on the agenda, it comes to my attention that my name and address was left off of the mailing list. Everyone on my street was included except my address. I'm still within the 500-foot rule. After having a conversation with the planning director, Mr. Sean Lucas, I called him and learned that the developer was the one who submits the list. I believe that my name was left off because myself and a couple other people voiced our opinions against the property back the last time in 2020, and it was a deliberate attempt to keep me from finding out about a proposed zoning. Now that we've got that out of the way, I personally disagree with the proposal to change to office and industrial. This would go against the harmony of the community. I feel like that if we give Hurt Incorporated with no restrictions, that he will put 3-story apartments there, and I heard what Mr. Tolson said, but I still feel like somewhere along the way, he's still going to try to put 3-story apartments there. And then this was voted back down in 2020 by the previous council, and while some of the faces may have changed on the council, I feel like that some of the opinions are still the same here, and I feel confident that they are not changed. And while specifically, we have not specifically been told what Mr. Hurt and Hurt LLC is planning to do. I know it's said about office and institutional, but it's one of them things where I feel like somewhere along the way, it's going to be able to, he can put 3-story apartments there, and that is something we do not want. And I also remember a conversation Mr. Hurt and myself had back outside here one day. He said we would not build 3-story apartments there, and I remember him telling me that. And also talking about the renovation of the property, I do remember riding by there and seeing a blue Chrysler vehicle in the driveway with a patio set, chairs, and an umbrella there for about a week before the public hearing, and then suddenly that was gone. So I don't know what that was, but I'm asking you to strongly consider to vote down the proposal because it goes against the harmony of the community, and we haven't seen any particular plans about the proposal. Now, I will say what Mr. Tolson just said there about office. If he just does just office and we vote and the council votes to keep the building intact, that's okay. And if he wants to put houses there, I'm fine with it as long as it's regular houses, like single-family houses, but not 2-story or 3-story apartments. Thank you.
And I just have to say, and I'm saying this out of I appreciate it, but I don't believe Sean would ever intentionally leave anybody's name off.
No, well, when I talked with Sean told me it was the developer who submitted the list to the town of Nashville, and they were the developer was the one who submitted the list.
Well, I just wanted to make that clear. I know our people would not do
and
that.
Me and Sean,
And we did give Mr. Fly a letter out in the mail. Once he called, I put one in the mail.
Okay,
and
great.
Sean and I had a good conversation, and we're good now.
Okay,
but
thank
he
you
knows my thoughts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Patrick, is it Butler? Yes, ma'am. Okay.
How y'all doing tonight? I'm Patrick Butler. I live at 525 Westwood Circle. And I bought my house back in '93. And that neighborhood looked really good back then, you know, and I raised a family there these 33 years. And I saw a lot of transition with that, with flooding and the houses getting gone and town buying up the lots and all this kind of thing and whatnot. I was also here in 2020 at the I think it was a special use permit hearing where we're talking about these 3-story apartment buildings. I think it was like 3 sets of them going to be built on that property. And I was really opposed to that. And there was a lot of people that came out. And one thing I wanted to say to the folks here, We're all 5, 6 years older than we were back then, and I've got a lot of feeble neighbors in my neighborhood that probably would be here if they were able, but they're just too feeble to come. So I feel like I'm incumbent for me to come speak to y'all about this. And I heard what Mr. Hurt's representative said, and I wish I was the type of person that would believe in a man's word and what he said, but I don't. I've been burned too many times in my life with talk. I'm just like the man that talked before me. If this is going to be in one building with an office there, I wouldn't have a problem with that. If that 9 acres was split up and there was homes out there, that's fine. That's contiguous with what everything else is around there. But this is right behind our houses in Westwood Circle. And I would like to see some way that place is zoned, because I read what O&I meant in the zoning ordinances, and I've been reading state and federal regulations all my life. And to me, it looks like if you get an O&I, you can come in and put that same exact thing that we talked about in 2020 in there if you wanted to, whether he does or he sells it to somebody else who does or not. That's just the way it reads to me. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a professional engineer. But that's what it looks like to me, and I'm opposed to that. I just don't want to see compact housing. I know what it brings. I grew up in Rocky Mount. I've been in Nash County my whole entire life. I've seen a lot of stuff go down. But I really want to preserve that community. We've got grandkids, children, young ones that play in the streets, and I know when you put in a lot of folks into an area and it gets concentrated and there's a lot of traffic and there's a lot of things that come with a lot of people living real close together, if you know what I mean. Seen some bad stuff. So for me, I would like to see that place zoned. I think it's great. Meet Mr. Hurt's current intentions there, but I'd like to see that carried onward. Whether he decides to keep it for 20 years or sell it outright to somebody else who wants to put apartments there. I'm going to be right back here if I'm alive, if the Lord's willing, to oppose apartments like that. And I just want to come to y'all. 3 minutes is up, I'm sorry. But I thank y'all for listening to me. And I really like when y'all just put yourself in my shoes and know that, this is a place where I want to spend the rest of my life. And hopefully that I got a few more years left.
We hope so.
Thank you.
Joe Carter.
Good evening. My name is Joe McCarter. I live at 526 Westwood Circle. And just like Patrick said, in 2020, we were down here doing the same thing. To me, I know what the mayor said he'd do, office buildings, this, that, and the other, we don't call it. I don't trust nobody. I'm 77 years old, and I've grown up with a whole lot of people tell me things they're going to do, and then when I agree with them, they turn around and do ass things right backwards. Well, my property meets right with that property. So anything happens there, it has to do with my property. And if he comes later on and does the apartment building thing, then my value goes down. It goes down, and no matter what, the way you do the building and all that, stuff runs in my yard, Patrick's yard, and a whole bunch of us down there. I'm too old to get out and move, because if that would happen when I was younger, I probably would move. I have a gentleman 2 houses down, just moved to the city of Nashville 1 week ago. I tried to get him to come to this meeting, but he works out of town. He's gone. But he said if he'd known this was going on, he'd have never bought the house or moved to the city of Nashville. So we can't have this, all this what's going on now. We got to be, like you said, if it's going to be an office building, an office thing. But he's been working on that building a long time. So you be getting it ready. I mean, he just ain't started. I go by it just about every day. He just ain't started that building. It ain't nowhere near being an office building. But that's all I got to say, and hope y'all take my word.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. James and Harold.
I am James Harrell from 707 South Pass Drive. I prefer not to be developed anything except residential. That is my preference, because I just don't think putting anything business in that neighborhood would be fit, just period. Number two is, I know that y'all want to put houses and develop every open space in town and get as much income we can coming, but you got to remember, it's like a foundation for a house. That creek is the foundation for most of Nashville, because what's coming into that creek into Nashville is 50% wider than the ridges going out of it. All right, y'all, we've got the development up there next to the bypass. It's just had another big building put on there, which is a hard surface, and is putting more strain on the creek. You taking and getting ready to build up there at the junction, putting apartments. That's going to be more hard surface and more water flowing into the creek. There's already just about a flood every time you turn around down there, because number one, it's just not, the structure of the town has not got the thing to move the water out. So I just think development to anything but residential is not going to help anything. So that is my opinion of it.
Thank you. Carl Willie?
Mr. Willie, we're going to save you a few steps. Oh, yes, sir.
He just.
Yes, sir.
Not too long ago. He was smart.
Ain't just a mess. Madam Mayor, council members, put a little bit of perspective in what my neighbor, Joe McCarter said and Patrick Butler said. When this development starts, if they start the development, we're not talking about this far, that far. We're talking about anything backing up to my back of my property. Madam Mayor, it'd be as close as I am to you. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're all worried about. Again, I'm like Mr. McCarty, I don't trust anybody. We would prefer that if it does come in there to be single family residential and within what we would expect in any new neighborhood in Nashville. I do not see putting a low-income apartment complex, 3-story complex, that close to my property. Also, there's some issues with water runoff. The water runoff to the back of that property would run into a ditch that runs down into the creek. And I know because I live there. I've been across that. My son played in that creek, so any runoff water would go right in that creek. And the other thing, the man said he did not get a notice. He wasn't the only one, because I didn't get a notice either. But I think I've said my piece. I would be okay with single family, but let's keep Nashville. Keep it nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Any other comments from anyone?
Good evening.
And your name?
My name is Sandra Ladson, Sandra Hill Ladson. I am at 721 Westview Court, right here in Nashville. Well, I agree with these gentlemen over here. We have a nice, peaceful little area over there that we live in. No troubles, nothing. You know, and I would like to keep it that way. I would like to have residential, single-family homes over there. My street is so quiet. I mean, I can walk my dog at 9 o'clock at night and it's dark, and I'm not worried, you know, but I don't want to bring nothing else. Y'all forgive me, I'm nervous because I don't like talking in front of people.
You're fine.
Okay. But I can walk my dog at 9 o'clock at night and I don't have to worry about nothing if I want to, you know. And I would love to just keep it safe and the homey feel, you know, over there on that street where I stay. And like I said, I've got one person in here. The rest of them I don't even know, but they're saying the same thing. Our neighborhood and everything is the best place to be, and we want to keep it that way. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Sandra. Any other council, do any of you have any questions or anything?
No, I have comments, not questions.
Do
I think we wait until after.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we come out of public hearing now?
So move.
Second. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Now, at this time, do any of the you council members have anything
Mayor,
to
I
say?
have
I
a
think she
question.
went first.
Go ahead, sure.
So my first, actually, I do have a question. My first question is to Sean. So does the applicant really provide the list for where the notices have to go?
Yes, per our zoning application now, they provide the application, the list of everybody in the 500-foot radius, and the town just mails it out. We go off the list.
Fix that so that
Yeah.
it's the town that creates the list?
We prefer to have the applicant do it so that the town does not make any mistakes like we had 2 years ago.
Can we double check the applicant's list?
We could. We would.
Where do they get the list from?
Nash County GIS.
Nash County GIS.
Yes, sir. They click on the parcel and then put within a 500-foot radius, and it pretty much gives them Excel, what you have in your packet of everybody in the 500-foot radius.
If we could double check that, just so that we don't have any concerns
Right.
with the residents that something has happened.
And everybody that did call to let us know they didn't get a letter, we made sure that next day they got one out in the mail.
How many
I
were
personally
there?
would-
How many are we talking about?
I only had one call. I did not know the other gentleman did not get one till he just announced it.
Mr.
All I knew was Mr. Fly.
Well, yeah.
I guess, I kind of echo what the residents are saying. I would not have a problem if the application here was for exactly what Michael Hurd is saying it's for, which would be a very low impact, commercial building where you keep the current building as it is. You fix up the inside, it still fits in with the neighborhood. You have some business that goes in there that doesn't bother anybody. I would have no problem with that. Unfortunately, we cannot legally limit the range or uses allowed or impose site-specific restrictions. So if we were to approve this for O&I, it would be for all 40 of the permitted uses that are in the table that we have. You can't say, we'll limit it to just office space. We can do that with a conditional rezoning request, which is what I would prefer to come before us, because I think that we could get a lot more consensus where everybody is happy with how it goes. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
Yeah, so my question was, if the apartments are conditional use under O&I, correct?
Yes, sir. They're allowed as a development, as a
that
development
doesn't go back-
standard
Conditional use,
and conditional. They're allowed in both.
Permitted.
It's permitted.
Under certain conditions.
It's under
Permitted
both.
with design standards, but
Right.
I
But it
haven't
doesn't
even
go back
gotten
to
a
us. It
clear
goes back to
understanding
Board of
as to what the
Adjustments.
design standards are.
Being that it's not a special use permit, it's developmental standards, so it comes to the TRC. Once they submit the application, if it is rezoned, they submit application for apartments, the TRC and the zoning administrator, myself, would review it, make recommendations, and then we would get the applicant to fix those recommendations. Once those recommendations meet the TRC standards and the zoning standard, we issue the zoning certificate of compliance to the applicant where we receive the payment.
Well, so we cannot do O&I on that property right now?
Yes, sir.
It's simple as can be, in my opinion.
Mayor, if I may.
Sure.
To the initial question that Kate addressed about some of the residents being missed, Randy, you being the town manager, knowing that this is the process and the way that we do it, what are your thoughts in that regard?
Making sure everybody get noticed.
Yes.
So like Sean said, GIS, we have the ability to do the same thing the applicant does, and we can double check their list, and we'll do that from here on out to make sure nobody gets missed.
We just prefer the applicant to do it, and we hate to say it takes the town out of it, but it takes the town out of the liability of anybody saying that the town did the study and did not give them a letter. We just go by off of what the applicant sends us saying that they did their due diligence on it.
And we take it with good faith.
Yes, sir, we do, sir.
We can
Correct.
double check, and we will.
If I can just add, just real quickly, and we do provide that list to the town to send those letters out. It's a, form letter, basically letting everybody know. So if it was an omission on our part, it certainly was not intentional. It is literally a button you click that says, give me all the residents within 500 feet, and if GIS misses it, we don't know because
We've even had it
describes-
where Sean did it, and it missed quite a few residences. So we know errors do occur, and it's not intentional.
And sometimes it's just a click from where it's measuring that 500 foot and it's going from the centroid of that piece of property. Being a 9.5 acre piece of property, it's got to go from the center where the address point's set and it's going out 500 feet. So it may miss somebody on the fringe, and that's just, we don't know to check it. When we come up with 91 people, we're like, golly, we didn't know it was this many, and it's could have been 120, and we wouldn't have questioned that either. So, Mr. Fly, it's not, certainly was not intentional, and I don't think that we certainly would have tried to skirt that at all. So I apologize that happened, but I'm thankful that you came and let us know about it. But we'll try and be a little bit more thorough. I just don't know how to make that GIS tool work any better. But my question to you, Town, is so what I heard you say, Ms. Barnes, was you guys cannot put restrictions on an O&I if it's come to you as straight O&I. You won't accept restrictions, so it's either got to come through as O&I tonight or come back to you as conditional.
Right, we cannot restrict the uses. So there's 40-plus uses that would be allowed in O&I, and we can't say, no, you can only do these two, not legally.
So then may I ask then, since my client's main goal is to be able to get that property rentable as a commercial property, and that is a house that he is actually rehabbing right now. He may be slow, but he is working on it, I promise. But bottom line is, he does have a tenant lined up. If we get tabled, it's a year before he can come back, or we're not tabled, if we get denied, it's a year before we can come back here. So if we could possibly consider tabling and come back with conditional?
Yes, sir. My recommendation, Mr. Toast, will be that the council takes no action. No action now gives the applicant a chance to come back at the next council meeting and reapply through the conditional process.
And then we can determine.
Right. Because if we do table, he has a 6-month cool down period that he has to wait before we can bring it back. But if you take no action, it'd be like we did one last year where we took no action, and then we can bring it right back.
Thank you, Sean. I misunderstood how that works. So
And it's kind of, you're taking no action, it's kind of like he's doing a formal withdrawal at the same time.
Okay.
And that will get, him the chance to come back and at least come out with a conditional, because what he is trying to do is rent that building. And so if I don't get that done, I haven't done my job. So if you guys would consider that, I would appreciate that. So
I'm all for Mr. Hurt because he's doing a lot for the community, and I want him to do more. But at the same time, we have to do what's right.
We have to do what's right for the neighbors, true.
Mr. Tosa, will you just say you will formally withdraw this application to bring it back next month?
Formally withdraw the application to bring back a more suitable conditional use rezoning at a later date.
I think that will satisfy the council.
And then, Kate, okay, excuse me.
And I was just going to say, Mr. Tolson, thank you for representing Mr. Hurt tonight. Thank you for apologizing to the residents that the GI missed. We do understand errors. But most importantly, ultimately, I want to thank you because you heard the discussion that took place in public hearing, and now you're willing to work as a compromise to give harmony to what your client is trying to do.
Oh, yes, sir. I knew what I was in for. I was here 6 years ago as well. So we were all here till about midnight.
Yes, Madam Mayor, before we start that motion.
I'm glad we can get out of here a little early.
Hearing is one thing, executing is another. Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, we don't have to make a motion.
So we don't have to do
Then
anything
he formally
since he
withdrew.
withdrew.
That pretty much ends the rezoning hearing case on this one.
Okay, so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Mike, I'll give you a call, sir.
So we can move on.
Mayor, one thing I'd like to point out, our next council meeting, well, we have one on the 18th, but April, we'll be able to get this back before the planning board in March, and then it'll come back to the council. But our April meeting is a daytime meeting, Are you guys okay with having a public hearing on a rezoning during a day meeting?
We're getting some notes from the audience.
I don't think the public would be, it wouldn't be conducive to have it on a day meeting because a lot of people will be working.
So can we have another meeting called in April?
You could have a called meeting.
I would be okay with that, so that we can do an evening time meeting and not have to wait until May, but allow the residents to come.
We can send out some proposed dates to the council and see which evening works best with you and Mr. Tolson, and we can make it happen.
Now, always remember, you can write to us, and Kenneth, you did that, and I hear you. So I do appreciate when people write emails if they can't come, phone calls if they can't come. We can always read those things into the record.
Okay, thank you so much, and we can move on to the next item, which is our hanging flower pots. Sean?
Mayor and Council, once again, thank you, and also I would like to thank Mrs. Hart from the MSD Board. She is here tonight with us from our MSD Board. She was the one that championed this last year to the MSD to extend the flower pots down to the lower end of Washington Street, and the council did agree with that for the MSD's recommendation. Upon that, me and Town Manager Lansing thought that it would be better fitting to have the remaining 9 poles in the downtown Courier District, or the heart of downtown, from CVS to Faith Christians, to have pots on those. We took it to the MSD Board at their last meeting. They made a recommendation to extend the flower pots and not to exceed over $6,000. If you turn to page 84 in your packet, you can see, I mean, not 84, 85, excuse me. You can see we do have a quote from Earth Planners right at $5,881, and that will be using MSD funding to extend the flower pots. So we just need the council to make a recommendation.
So, thank you, Sean, and do I hear a motion for us to extend these flower pots and with the MSD's help down the street?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And I like our flower
I
pots.
love the flower pots.
The next item is the nuisance abatement. Sean?
Mayor and Council, once again, thank you once again. Code Enforcement Officer Thomasine Jones has been diligently working over the past several months with the owner of 929 Eastern Avenue to bring the property in compliance with the Town of Nashville property maintenance standards of the town ordinance. Multiple inspection, follow-up visits, and site visit phone calls and written notes have been issued in effort to correct ongoing violations of the accumulation of junk, trash, debris, and all other materials, and the owner has not abided by the letters. Ms. Jones did a inspection. Ms. Jones did an inspection on April 9th, 2025. During that inspection, she sent a compliance deadline on April 20th. A reinspection was conducted on April 21st, 2025. No corrective actions were taken. At that time, the town did not have funding to cover the cost of the cleanup, so we gave it some time. We continued working with the owner, and the owner did not meet the standards. We sent another letter out on January the 2nd, and we gave them till January the 5th to get January 15th to get everything done. Ms. Jones went out on January 16th to do a inspection, and the property is still out of compliance. We have had our town vendor, Horn Landscaping, submit a bid for $650 to remove and clean the property to town standards. Those are the letters on page number 88 and 89 that was sent out by Ms. Jones. These are the pictures Ms. Jones took on her reinspection on page number 90 and 91. Also on 92, 93. On page 94 is the bid from Horns Landscaping out of Black Creek, North Carolina, to clean the property. We also mailed a letter and placed one on the property owner's door. We mainly don't do that, but as a courtesy to that property owner of the dwelling, excuse me, we want to let them know to come out to the town council meeting this evening where they could speak to the council and ask for any mercy or grace from the town council. I'm not aware if the applicant is here, and also on page number 96 is your declaration from the town plan director, myself, saying that I did go out and send this letter out 7 days prior to the town council meeting, and we also posted the front door. Page 97, you do see the sign that says delivery side door. And on page number 98, you see the reason why we did not deliver to the side door, because there was a dog running that dog right there. So we took safety first, put it on the front porch, hoping that the owner would see it. And I'm going to yield to Town Manager Lansing.
Just a point of order. Councilmember Xavier was not feeling well at all, so he's left the meeting.
Right.
The council is required to formally excuse him, and then we can continue.
Okay,
I make
do
a
I have to
motion
do it as a motion?
excuse Xavier.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye. I make
Larry
a motion,
seconded.
Larry second.
Continue.
Mayor and Council, if the property owner, Mr. Andrew George Howard, is here, the council can speak to him. If not, the council can continue on.
Is he here tonight?
I'm not aware. Is Mr. Andrew George Howard here from 929 Eastern Avenue? Seeing that he's not here, Mayor and Council, we can proceed on. What the town would ask the council to do tonight is to adopt ordinance 2026-08, allowing the town vendor, Mr. Horn Landscaping, to go out and abate the property. This property has been called in several times by the residents in the area, stating that it is an eyesore and needs to be cleaned up to town standards. The town does have funding that we will be able to use out of the minimum housing line to get it clean.
Are there any comments from the council? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the ordinance 2026-08, ordering the abatement of cited nuisances at 929 Eastern Avenue?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item is the body and cross stop signs. Mr. Lanson.
Mayor, Council, I believe you are probably familiar with Cross Street and Body Street intersection. It's currently a four-way stop. We've had requests in the past to make it a two-way stop where Body would stop, but Cross Street would have the priority to go through without stopping. We had requested the DOT throw out traffic counters there, which they did. Thank Kim Moore with Nash County DOT for doing that. And what the traffic counters showed is that there are 4,565 vehicles a day on Cross Street, and there are 271 vehicles a day on Body Street. So that gives you a good idea of the traffic pattern there and the volume there. You also know that on Cross Street has to stop at Barn Street, which is a block to the west, and they also have to stop at Alston Street, which is a block to the east. So to have 3 intersections per block that you stop, to the folks who were bringing this to our attention, seems excessive. So what we have before you this evening is a staff recommendation to remove the stop signs on Cross Street. We're still requiring Body Street to stop, but Cross Street could travel through. And if you're agreeable, we've taken the liberty of preparing an ordinance that would effectively remove those stop signs from Cross Street and make it a two-way stop instead of a four-way stop.
Any questions for Randy?
I do have one.
Yes.
Are we able to put like one of those flashing lights out there for a couple weeks just so we kind
Indicate
of
the
warn
change.
people, hey, change is going on here?
Yes.
Do we still have one of those?
We have our Public Works Director here this evening. Jason, if you wouldn't mind, some of the things we talked about, we have some low-tech things called extra flags that we can staple to the stop signs on Body Street. We've used those over on Fort Street in the past. Now, those are really faded, we wouldn't use them anymore. But Jason had some ideas, too.
So, correct, we could put flashing lights, we could put flags. One recommendation that we would make is put brand-new stop signs on Body Street. So they're not faded, they're very reflective, very visible. You're going to notice a little bit of change there, so it may bring it to your attention. But all those are very, very easy, very affordable, something we can do within our budget.
Cool. Good. Any other questions? If not, do I hear a motion to approve and adopt ordinance 2026-09, removing the cross street stop signs at the Body Street intersection, changing the intersection from a four-way stop to a two-way stop?
Move to remove.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Wait. Oh, we had a first and
Yeah.
a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 It's getting close to my bedtime,
That's
excuse
right.
me.
I need to eat.
Okay, that ends the items on our agenda, but Town Manager, do you have some comments?
I do. This came late, weren't able to get it back. Last meeting, we had talked about discretionary spending or direct appropriations from our state legislators for the upcoming state budget, and we had talked about some items. One of the things you guys wanted to do is see if we could get together with Lisa Barnes and Alan Chesser and talk with them to get some ideas of what they think would be worthy for them to put their name on and go forward with the discretionary spending. I don't think, I haven't heard back from them yet of a date and a time, but I know they put a deadline on receiving those. Sean Harrington, who is Representative Chesser's legislative aide, sent something out today, and they would like that back very soon. In addition, we've been contacted this week by Congressman Don Davis, the Community Project Fund, which years ago was called an earmark. Now they call it the Community Project Fund. Anyway, he's requesting if any communities within his district have, again, a direct appropriation request, that we submit it by Friday. So.
I gave you one.
As in years past, public safety ranks very highly on the legislators' radar. It's something that they can go to Washington or Raleigh and get funding for, bring back to their district, and it's tough to disagree with public safety. So we're looking at having to replace our ladder truck, which we bought used from Kerry probably, how many years ago now, Chief? 10? 2020, and not quite that long. Yeah. Anyway, when you get a used vehicle, you get a used vehicle. But it's like $1.8 million for a new ladder truck, and we don't have the funding for it. We certainly have the need for it, but we don't have the funding for it. Staff would recommend, with council's approval, that we put a request into Congressman Don Davis for a ladder truck. And I don't know if there's a limit on how much we can request. Staff saying not. With Representative Chesser and Senator Barnes, they have communicated with us that they're going to be looking at the community requests together. Mm-hmm. So once again, I think our most urgent request that could be submitted for funding at the state level would be new air packs for our fire department. They have a life of 15 years. I think, Chief Joyner, maybe you'd like to take the mic and just tell them about it.
So the air packs go out every 15 years. Ours go out in January this coming year. We've applied for the AFG grant the last 2 years because we got the grant in 15 years ago to get the air packs, so that's how we bought all of them again. So we knew this was going to run into a problem. Air packs, I checked today again today, I got a new quote today, $259,000 to replace all our air packs. So that is what it's going to take to do that. That's new bottles and packs because they all go out at the same time. So that's the reason why I went ahead and got a quote today on it. So it's 24 and 48 spare bottles. So
are you in agreement with that, council?
I'm fine with that. Would it be beneficial to give like 5 potential things and see what they pick? Or do we just go with one and hope for the best?
We sat in, me and Chief Joyner sat in on the meeting today because Randy was in another meeting. And you can, for Don Davis is what we sat in on, you can submit up to 20. Isn't that what they said? No.
20 altogether.
Oh, yeah, but you can submit more than one. So, yeah, but you're competing against yourself. Exactly.
Right.
But there are 20 out, that's right, there were 20 altogether.
Okay.
And they did say we're in a rural area, so we'll be competing. I mean, there was a lot of other really other needs in the area too, so.
I don't have the list in front of me either of what we originally talked about.
Well, was it in the minutes?
Oh, yes, probably.
Can Davis, Chesson, and Barnes collectively give money to one fund? You cannot.
Different parties, too.
They're federal and state, Larry.
Right.
Yeah.
Crap.
Now, on the federal level, the Community Project Fund, you remember when B.K. Butterfield was our congressman, we were awarded money for the fire station, $1.3 million. And that was a godsend, really. And since Congressman Davis has been in office, we've gotten a Community Project Fund award from Congressman Davis, and it was for the Essex Road Regency Estate sewer extension projects. Well, we also got state funding for those, which came as it covered more of the cost between the two projects. So we asked for it to be reappropriated for a different project, and we were successful in that. So now that $936,000 we can use for the Regency Lift Station Abandonment Project and get rid of another lift station, which pays dividends down the road, because you don't have that. So I put that out there as history. You know, we have an opportunity, just like every community in District 1 and Congressman Davis's district, to put in an application. Given we've gotten 2 awards already in recent times, I don't know if they take that into consideration or not, but I really think our most strongest application would be for that new ladder truck.
And not police department?
Well, the police department is still underway with planning, and we're not ready to pull the trigger on that. A ladder truck we are.
I would ask, Randy, that you canvass all our department heads and tell them to give you their 1 or 2 top priorities, and you go ahead and make the decision from that.
Okay.
If that's all right with everybody else.
Well, I'm for a ladder truck, but you.
Well, I am too, but you know.
I just think we need that.
With the time crunch, so I think we just need to rely on Randy to make the right decision.
Yeah, let Randy make the decision.
Larry, your house is taller than the mayor's, so you need
And I want the ladder truck. And I want the ladder truck.
Well, yeah, Jason wants a water tower.
Oh, man. Well, listen, I appreciate everybody being here tonight, and citizens, I appreciate you coming out, because we really do value you and your opinions. And like I say, every meeting, we just pray that we'll do the right and best thing for all of our citizens. And council, I appreciate you. And if there are no other comments or input.
Mayor, I have one other thing to do. Our first budget workshop is March 17th?
18th.
March 18th. I will be out of town on that date.
Yes.
And I asked Randy could he give me all the information before I leave on that previous weekend, or can we move it back to the week before and get together and meet?
Let me see that.
The following week.
Either the following or the one in front. Either
That'd
one.
be tomorrow.
That'd be tomorrow? No, not tomorrow.
That'll be next week.
That'll be next week. Okay.
So the 25th?
25th.
Yeah, we still have business for the day meeting on the 18th, council meeting.
We got old business with the Texas membership containers.
Pardon? Pardon?
That's all.
That's a meeting, not a planning session.
Well, should have used the microphone. Sorry about that, Madam Mayor. On the 18th, we have a Texas Amendment ordinance for shipping containers to be addressed that day.
And that's not, it won't mess with the tax people.
I still won't be here.
But that's not a budget meeting, correct? That's a regular council meeting.
Well, the 18th is set as the budget meeting, but they also are we also usually put business on it also.
Okay.
Because we have a lot of it. Now, the 21st is on Monday, because, you know, I know we take precedence, but the tax people are here, and they line up. It is a service for our community Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday all day long. So the 21st is a Monday. We have plenty of time to call a meeting as our budget
Of
workshop.
March or April?
The 21st is a Monday?
March. 21st is a Saturday.
I'm looking at March.
I'm looking.
March.
Oh, look, if I put my glasses on. 23rd.
Okay, that's a Monday.
So
That's a Monday.
we have this meeting, we would have a daytime meeting on the 18th, we'd have a budget meeting on the 23rd, and a called meeting for
No, the 23rd will be a call meeting.
That would
We
be
were
the-
talking about doing another call meeting for Mike Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We could do you have enough, how long do you have to notice for your,
I got 2 weeks to run and get things out for the.
because we could do those on the same date.
I got a 2-week turnaround notice. I need to have everything out. But I would yield to the council on the, 23rd. If you did go to 23rd, it works out good because MSD and Planning Board has moved to the 4th Tuesday night. So that Monday night is open.
For our council meeting, to take up the issue.
Yes, if you guys want to do 23rd, that night is open.
So when will we work on the budget?
I'm confused.
That's what I was talking about, 23rd.
23rd would be the budget.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, we could do 23rd budget day.
Well, we
And then
got
you're
it.
saying combine shipping container and Michael on a different day? Is that what you were saying?
The shipping container's set for the 18th.
That's correct.
He's already put.
We already advertised it in the newspaper and got it posted.
We're not messing that, we're not changing that again.
No, we'll change that.
So we're looking at, we could combine something for the conditional rezoning and
With
the
the budget
budget hearing.
retreat.
But budget hearing, that usually, that takes.
Well, it's
a
the budget
workshop.
retreat,
It's a
so-
workshop, so.
What we typically do, the department heads will prepare a short PowerPoint, brief you on what they've accomplished in this year's budget with what we budgeted funds for to do, and then give you an idea what they're looking for needs for FY '27. And, budget retreats in the past have been maybe a couple, 3 hours at most in the past.
Now, when we originally talked about the special call meeting for HURT, was it for March or April?
It's for April because we have to
okay.
do the planning board meeting
Right.
in March, and then
Okay.
we'll have a
Okay.
special call night meeting in April.
Okay.
Yes, and our only meeting in April so far is scheduled for the 15th, which is a day meeting. But if you wanted to have a called council meeting in April, you could easily, and keep it on a Tuesday. We could do that 7th.
No, that's Easter week.
Okay, can't do it then.
Okay. Well, let's get back to the budget. So we want to do that in sometime in March, right? Did we say the 23rd works for everybody?
The budget retreat, that'd be during the day on Monday, March 23rd,
Right.
9 o'clock.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
That'll work. Thank you.
But we're still going to have our day meeting on the
On the
18th.
Yeah.
So
Larry won't
March
be there, but
23rd and March 18th.
March 18th.
And then we've got to have a call meeting in April.
In April.
And we'll send out some dates.
Okay.
See what works best with the council.
Okay, that'd be good.
Okay.
Now, was there another budget date? Because some reason I don't see it on my calendar. Wasn't there
I
always
didn't
two?
even see the 18th on my calendar.
Is when's the other budget meeting?
It was on our
I know it was,
schedule.
but I don't have it on my phone for some reason. I don't know why.
All right, so we have budget retreat on March 18th, and then May 13th, we have a work session.
Oh, May.
That's when we
That's
whittle stuff
I have
down.
it on there, okay.
And then May 20th, we have a budget work session and a regular meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
I had that
those.
too.
I got
I
those.
didn't look far enough ahead, so.
That's okay.
So you're going to send us some dates then for our possible okay, good. Any other discussion, comments?
Thank you, council.
If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.